Okay, I'm going to show you some really good techniques for working on your forearm. And most people who do anything with their hands have tight forearms, even if they're not causing any problems, and it's good to loosen them up anyway, and it also prevents things from happening in the future, like carpal tunnel syndrome. So, when I massage my forearm, I'm not using my other hand because that can be overused as well. So what I use is not the pointy part of the elbow, but the flat part right next to the elbow. Because if I use the pointy part, I'm likely to cause bruising, which is not the end of the world, but you don't want that to happen. And so I've got my hand, or my forearm rather, resting on a padded surface. Here I've got a bath towel, but any kind of padded surface will do. And you can even use a pillow on top of your lap or whatever. And also, in the middle of the night, if your hands wake you up, you can just rest your arm on one elbow and use your other arm and massage it for a while, and then go back to sleep. You never want to massage this way, especially very deeply, because the veins in your arm, the veins in your limbs, all your limbs, have valves in them, and they're one-way valves, and they're to go this way towards your heart to carry the blood back towards the heart. The arteries don't have valves, but the veins do, and if you go against them, first of all, you're going against the blood flow, and secondly, you can break those valves. That's what varicose veins are in your legs, is broken valves. And if those valves happen to break off, they could go into your bloodstream, and if your body doesn't take care of them right away, they could end up in some place they're not supposed to. And also, you have lymph systems. And lymph only goes this way. It only goes that way. It takes waste products out as well. And when you see somebody with these swollen up ankles, and you know it's not from fat, it's fluid retention, that's lymph. And it's not healthy. So you don't want to be pushing it this way. You want to also get rid of it that way. And so you want to maybe take a little bit of time, not much, to loosen up your muscles. And it's okay to go across, and that's where most of our benefit is going across what's called frictioning the muscles, to loosen up the adhesions of muscle fibers stuck together and little muscles stuck in contraction. And something about muscles. The more unhappy a muscle is, the more tender it will be. If a muscle is perfectly happy, and I use words like happy and unhappy as opposed to normal, because what's that? If your muscle's perfectly happy, you can put as much pressure within reason, and all you'll feel is pressure. The more unhappy it is, the more tender it will be. And you don't want to massage strains. Strains are torn muscles, torn muscle fibers, and in the place where it's strained, you don't want to be stretching it or massaging it, because you can just make it worse or retard the healing process. If you have a strain, you want to use ice. And on carpal tunnel syndrome, ice is a good thing too, especially when you're starting out, because ice is an anti-inflammatory, and it also helps promote healing. And I've got a section on that in the second section, so I'm not going to go into icing here. But before I learned this technique, when I was doing massage for long periods of time, at first I started out just icing, and worked out okay, but I knew there had to be a better way before I started working on techniques like this. You want to go across these tendon sheaths, like I mentioned in the what you want to know about hands, wrists, and forearms, and you want to mechanically get that gunk out, and you're not really pushing it out, but you're breaking it up so that your body can go in and gobble it up better. And you're also increasing the blood supply when you massage in that area, and blood flow is healing. The tender areas that you have are ones you want to work on more than others. However, don't make the mistake of making them tender by bruising them really hard, and then you say, oh, that's a tender spot, and I'll work on it harder and bruise it more. And also, when muscles are tight, when they're unhappy, extremely tight, and you go in there hard at first, muscles are full of little nerves. And if they're unhappy, they're going to tighten up and not let you in. So work at a pressure that is comfortable to tolerate. And if it takes you longer in number of days to get it loosened up, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You are loosening it up a lot faster than you are tightening it by doing your job, whatever kind of job you're at. But also, the more you loosen a muscle up, the more it will loosen up. The more it relaxes, the more it will relax. So what was a pressure that was tender will very soon, with a little persistence, a few minutes at a time here and there throughout the day, well, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, for 5 minutes at a time. What if you don't have 5 minutes? Well, work on it for a minute. Work on it for whatever time you got. Anything is better than nothing, and that's what a lot of people do. They do nothing until they get so bad that they have to have surgery, because no doctor ever told them to do anything for themselves. Just take a pill, which doesn't do any good and never has. Now, you can modify the techniques, but I want to warn you about using mechanical massagers. Basically, there's 2 common kinds. One's a vibrator and the other's percussion. And a lot of the vibrating ones are pretty wimpy. But the percussion ones are the problem-causing ones, because some of them are really aggressive, and percussion means bang, 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 bang. And they're okay where the muscles are thick. But some people have used them on their forearms, and I've gotten feedback that, especially here where you don't have a lot of meat in your bones in this part of your forearm, bang, 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 bang. Well, you bruise the bone, and the outer surface of the bone can get bruised. And because I've said work on the tender spots, they work on them more. Bang, 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 bang. Also, where your short tendons are up here, and these can be really tender. You could go like this to some people, just squeeze on both sides there, and without very much pressure, you could send them to their knees, because these can be very tender. So, tender spots like that, bang, 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 well, you're bruising the bone again. And tendons have a lot of nerves. Muscles are full of little nerves, but tendons have more nerves per square whatever than the muscles do, because they want to really protect themselves in case they're overstretched. Another thing to be aware of with massage, this is one of the first things I learned in massage school, was when muscles are tight, the blood doesn't go in as efficiently as it should, and the waste products don't go out as efficiently as they should. So what happens is the waste products tend to build up inside the tight areas. Well, some people, after a massage, can feel nauseous, or they can feel a weakness in their muscle or a fatigue in their muscle, and that's because the waste products that were building up in there get released into the blood system a lot faster than they normally would, and that can cause some people to be nauseous, or it can cause different feelings in your arms than there were before. You want to drink quite a bit of water to flush it out. You want to be drinking a lot of water anyways. You want to drink good water. And the other thing you can do if your arms are feeling fatigued afterwards is to do movements of your arms to get the blood flowing in them. Another thing that happens if you're working deep is your muscles might feel worse the next day or 2 days, and then they feel a lot better afterwards. So that's another possibility. Also, you may feel an initial worsening of your numbness right after you start massaging them, because your muscles are starting to tighten up to resist you. And then if you can loosen them up further, or just let them relax, for half a day or whatever, they should start coming back. So note that things can start to happen at first that you may not like right away, but just work at a pressure that's comfortable for you and gradually go deeper as your muscles allow it. And when I started out, I was very aggressive, and I didn't care if I bruised myself. I kind of understood what was going on.